There has been a new Call of Duty released every year since the year 2007. Some have been good, and most are bad. But Modern Warfare 2019 stands out as the most disappointing game in the entire franchise. Not the worst by a long shot, but it could have been so much more. To break down what happened, we should start from the beginning. 2007 to 2012 saw the best of Call of Duty being released. These games were unique and fun. They also didn't rely on god-awful skins to make money off the parents of 12-year-olds living in suburban America, but we'll get to that later. After this golden era of Call of Duty, the series took a turn for the worse.
Our new dog model is taken
from lackluster environments.
They have fish move out of the way when you get close to them.
An insistent desire to return to space.
What you're seeing is advanced warfare.
And a general refusal to take itself seriously. This time period was one of the worst for the series. This brings us to spring 2019. The rebooted Modern Warfare is announced. People were excited, including me. You see, the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare was one of my favorite games. And this reboot seems to be trying to revolutionize COD in the same way the original Modern Warfare did.
This project, we wanted it more visceral, realistic, constantly in your face, like I'm in the thick of things with these weapons.
The reboot promised many things. A contemporary portrayal of warfare, realistic animations from real firearm experts, current service firearms realistically modeled. These were just a few things that the reboot planned to make this Modern Warfare immersive. For the first time in a long time, this COD seemed to be a product of innovation. So things were looking good. Leading up to its release, the promotional footage looked more and more promising. And on October 25th, 2019, the game released. There were problems. Shotgun sniping people across the map, the M4A1 being the best gun in the game, and claymores seemingly around every corner. But on the whole, this was the best Call of Duty in a long time. The campaign took a serious tone, with discussions about terrorism and the morality of torture being main themes of the game. Everyone knows about the Clean House mission, but one of my favorite missions is Piccadilly. It's a chaotic scene where you have to quickly identify whether people are terrorists or civilians in a crowded London street. It's harrowing, intense, and everything I want in a Modern Warfare mission. The multiplayer, while not perfect, was fun as well. I personally am not a fan of the balls to the wall movement the reboot introduced, but I understand that it's an integral part of COD at this point. The guns felt punchy, the animations are perhaps some of the best in any FPS to date, and the weapon customization was the most comprehensive in any COD game. These were good things, and it showed in the numbers. The game generated $600 million in the first 3 days of its release. People liked this game. Modern Warfare clearly did not fail in a financial sense, and it was a great game on release. So what went wrong? Modern Warfare failed in delivering its vision of a shooter with a darker and realistic tone. On release, this was not the case. But over time, the combination of issues with the base game and major problems with updates in the future have led Modern Warfare to become a shell of what it could have been. The Weaponsmith feature in Modern Warfare was a great feature. It allowed players to modify their guns to accommodate their playstyles. The problem with Weaponsmith is twofold. 1. Call of Duty will always be a run and gun shooter, no matter the tone of the game. So most of the good players will run and gun, and mod their guns to accommodate that. This isn't a problem in and of itself, but it means that the players who want the most advantage will mod their guns the same. The other part of the problem is that there are some really weird attachments in the game, from exotic to outright unrealistic.
What the fuck is that?
There are some weird things you can do to the guns in this game. When these attachments are the most effective and everyone uses them, you get some weird looking guns. This may sound like nitpicking, but I really don't think it is. In a first-person shooter, the primary thing you look at when playing is your gun. If you play multiplayer, and you must make your gun look like the latest Super Soaker to keep up with the others, well, it damages the immersion of the game. It's hard to sell a gritty, realistic environment when everyone is running around at Mach 2 with this. Other games let you make abominations too, But in those games, these aren't the most effective guns. In Modern Warfare, they are. In a first-person shooter, you look through the eyes of your character. As such, the people you look at are mostly other players. In the campaign, this works very well, as everyone seems dressed appropriately for their role. However, in multiplayer, immersion is thrown completely out the window. The "if you don't like it, just don't buy it" argument doesn't work for first-person shooters.
Be gone, son!
It doesn't matter what skins you buy, when you primarily are looking at and shooting other people. I don't want my teammates and enemies in a modern war environment to be someone running around in a gimp suit, an influencer in a sports bra, or the guy from Saw. Not to mention, I don't like seeing 5 different Captain Prices. But I don't have a say when I play multiplayer. Now, I know that financially, skin microtransactions have been a huge success for the franchise, as it draws in the lowest common denominator that plays Warzone because it was the latest battle royale. But I think the number of skins, and trying to adopt Fortnite's skin business model damaged the core Modern Warfare game. Look at the older games. There were multiple factions, and they all had unique character models. It was easy to tell who was who. Now look at this garbage. It's just Fortnite with extra steps. And obviously it completely ruins whatever immersion the multiplayer had. Finally, I know money has to be made, but the prices on some of these skins are just predatory. And of course the price is hidden behind fake COD points, so impulse buyers don't recognize how much they're really spending. Microtransactions like these need to die and stay dead.
Fortnite skins.
I would much rather pay for actual content than this.
It's time to stop!
It's hard to talk about Modern Warfare at this point without talking about Warzone. And this is the crux of the problem. When Warzone initially released, I thought it was a pretty neat idea, and actually had a lot of fun with friends. In all Call of Duties, there are attachments for most guns that are impractical for the fast-paced nature of usual multiplayer matches. With Warzone, shootouts take place at longer ranges than multiplayer. Suddenly, attachments that never would have been considered before could be viable in this mode. I remember having a lot of fun with the EOTech and Magnifier. It was a new sandbox, and experimentation breathed new life into the game. Unfortunately, its success at least partially led to Modern Warfare's undoing. There are the obnoxious skins I talked about, and everyone knows about the cheater problem. But, in my opinion, the worst thing Warzone did was making the Modern Warfare multiplayer lose support very quickly. After Warzone's release, Modern Warfare's multiplayer received very few updates. Sure, there were new guns, and a couple new maps, but there was nothing substantial. For the most successful and refreshing COD since the original Modern Warfare release in 2007, this is insulting and wrong. If you want to play Modern Warfare multiplayer, this is what the menu looks like right now. Modern Warfare, shoved off to the side. What a sad visual representation. On top of that, if you want to play the multiplayer, campaign, or Modern Warfare at all, you must have Warzone installed. That's 175 gigabytes for a mode I have no interest in just to play Modern Warfare.
Man, this is some bullshit!
Why is it so big? Do characters in gimp suits and Rambo himself take up that much space? This is my biggest problem with the game's current state. That Warzone figuratively and literally took up all the room meant for Modern Warfare. I need to make it clear. Modern Warfare is not a bad game. In fact, it's the best Call of Duty in a long time, and remains so almost 3 years after its release. But it just sucks how neglected it's been since Warzone released. Many of these critiques always lead back to one thing: Call of Duty's release schedule. It is insane that a Call of Duty is released each year. Frankly, it's a small miracle that the games even work on release. And it's obvious that with annual releases, things will need to be recycled. So when Call of Duty games innovate and do something new and exciting, it should be cause for celebration. But with an annual release schedule, ideas are tossed aside instead of developed and refined. Modern Warfare was a great start that needed fixes to truly put it up there with the few great AAA shooters. The game wasn't great because we had our neurons activated whenever we saw Captain Price. Modern Warfare was great because of the changes it made, attention to detail, and its initial commitment to a darker tone. Putting an obscene amount of skins into a side mode to chase the current Battle Royale trend may earn money in the short term.
Give me money.
But all this has no heart.
Probably like spent $5,000 on.
An audience drawn to a game solely for skins will just move on to the next Battle Royale that gets popular on Twitch. And Modern Warfare will be remembered only as the game that could have been more.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
With the upcoming sequel to Modern Warfare coming out this fall, I hope that changes will be made and that this game will get support beyond a few months. And as consumers, the best way to start change is to vote with your wallet. Don't pre-order games, don't buy games that don't respect their own franchise, and definitely don't buy any microtransactions. Thanks for listening to what I had to say. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. After all, it's free.